Alrighty folks, well we've had a look at some of the two most popular tools out there right now. One of course being Nmap, the front end version, the GUI version, and two being Nmap, the command line or shell version. Remember, Nmap can run in both a Windows as well as a Linux environment. We also had a quick sneak preview of the SuperScan version 4 from Foundstone Tool GUI interface. I want to move on to this tool that you'll find pretty powerful in its capabilities. It's another free open source tool available from the lookatlan.com website. Now this tool gives you a little bit more than just scanning, as you'll see in a few moments. Once you actually open up Look at LAN, you'll be presented with this interface as you see in front of you. The first thing you need to do is to create a new profile. You can give it a name and you can modify different profiles. For now, I'm just going to select the network adapter card that I have on our local network for demonstration purposes, and I'm going to go along to look at some of the manual specifics for the scanning settings. And that, of course, as you can see, I didn't configure anything fancy there, but I went out and just performed a straightforward scan. I'll show you some of the other options we can play with in a few moments. But right now it's going out, finding these systems on the network, and we're then able to click on each of those systems for more detailed information. So if I stop this scan and then go back to a new scan, this time selecting the interface and choosing next, it's going to go out and pretty much perform the exact same thing it did previously. This is a great tool to use if you work in those late hours and you need an alarm system to wake you every now and then when you nod off. So if I have a look at one of those systems as an example, if I double click, it gives you the IP address, the status, if it's on the same LAN or even on a different LAN, the operating system it's running, and the host name and NetBIOS name depending on certain parameters. So I'm going to double click on this machine as an example, and there you can see it's going to come up with the active services available on that system, and I can then investigate that further. It's a pretty standard, straightforward port scanning tool. Gives you some other different capabilities such as advanced trace routes, graphical pings, but realistically we want to be more calculating from a penetration tester's point of view, more specifically from the point of view of perhaps a malicious person. They're not going to run a full-on automated tool that's going to continuously scan the different ports and IP addresses. That's normally picked up very easily from a firewall IDS point of view. So they want to be more crafty in their approach. So if we have a look at adding new systems to the network, it's going to go out and refresh that. And as you can see, it's detected another system here, which is still working through. It's actually put an asterisk next to it as well. And if I now have a look at the right hand side of this, it's actually got SNMP capabilities as well. So SNMP, Simple Network Management Protocol, will be covered more in the enumeration module. But if I double click on that, it's going to do one or two things. First, it's going to go out and do a port scan. And then two, it's going to look at using its SNMP capabilities to do a better port scan. So, I'll show you that again. As you can see from the Simple Network Management Protocol, we can access a lot of details. This is simply because they use some default settings to enable SNMP on the system. We can look at a lot of details based on the user accounts that they actually have, the specific TCP/IP configuration parameters, what shares are out on that system, services. That's of course if it's an operating system like this is. So this will be covered in a lot more detail, but that was one point I wanted to point out for you, was that it has SNMP capabilities. So it might be a GUI interface and it goes out and does a automated port assessment, port scan. It is very, very noisy, but like I said, it does have advantages more for internal assessment purposes.